Okay.
All right. Okay, so we're going to hook up the power. I'm going to show you how to hook it up for shore power at like an RV site. And I'm also going to show you how to hook it up to 2 generators with a parallel kit. So this is the first part here. This will be the same either way. Move the dog dish. You're going to just plug this in. There's the 3 prongs. You got to orientate it so it turns a little bit to counterclockwise. And then once it's in position, you secure this little retaining ring. And it's plastic, so you don't have to go too tight. You just need to have it in place just to prevent it from pulling out accidentally for you. Which you may need to lose power. Maybe the dog will trip over it, or a kid will. Okay, so if you're going to connect at an RV park, you would definitely, like, the simplest way would be to just plug this directly into your RV site. Okay, and then you would have shore power. Always use this surge protector though, right? That'll prevent the electronics from the trailer blowing up if there's a surge from the RV site, and in our case, from the generators. So here's a test button, here's a reset button. If it isn't working, I always push the reset button in advance just to make sure it's good. Okay, so now that we're connecting it to the generators, we're going to hook it up to this parallel box here. The parallel box, both of these are set to off right now. You don't want anything on until you're ready for it, okay? So what we got here is we have a 30 amp side and a 50 amp side. The generators these two together put off enough voltage that you have to use the 50 amp or it'll overload. So I have an adapter here, this yellow adapter. It'll adapt it from the 50 amp to a 30 amp female. You just connect your surge protector directly into there, like so. And you're good. Now when you get this and you're setting it up, you'll also notice that each of these are connected together. This little yellow-green wire, you have a wing nut there, you just connect it there, that's the ground. And then you have these two, which aren't polarized. It means it doesn't really matter which way you put them in. So just put one on each of these sides. And the same goes for that one over there. Okay? All right. Now, the only thing we're going to do now is we're going to start each generator, and we're going to make sure that they've warmed up a little bit before we put them into the run position. The other detail is we have a auto idle feature. Whatever you do, just make sure that both generators are set either on or off for auto idle. If you don't, you'll have an overload situation and a weird surging. Also, if you have an issue, you can also hit your resets are right here. Okay? If you have to plug into something else right there directly, you can. But here we go. We're going to fire up the generators, and then we're going to turn on the parallel kit. So if you look right here, you'll see the switch is off. So when you shut off your generator, you go to the red. In the middle is for run, and this is when we do a cold start. So every time we start, we're going to start there. I'm going to tell you before I do this, I'm going to fire both of them up. Once they're fired up and warmed up, I'm going to go down to the run position. The run position's weird. It's kind of like a little bit variable. You hear a little bit of a switch, but in there you'll have a little bit of play. Just find a sweet spot and you're good. Once they're both running and warm, we're going to turn this switch here for the 50 amp on. We're only going to do that once we got them both running and warm. And then your trailer's good to go. It could take up to 20 times, I found, when it's first cold. That one sucks. When you fuel them up, this is where you fuel them up. If it overflows a little bit, don't worry about it. Gasoline evaporates, so you won't have a big problem. Okay, so they're warm. They're not really warm, but just to prevent us from wasting all your time in the video, I'm going to show you. Speeds up. Speeds up. Okay, so if you can see here, the auto idle is on. They're both on. This number here tells you how long the generator is good for this RPM. But under load, it won't be that long. So that's how much fuel you have in there. We're gonna turn on the 50 amp switch now. And the trailer starts drawing, and that's how you can see hear the surge. And you can see our available time for running the generators is also dropped because it's under a little bit of load. When you use the AC, when you use the...
Let's use them from that one more.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It's dropping fast.
It'll adjust.
Yeah.
When we're using the microwave and or the air conditioner, it's going to burn up fuel real fast. Thanks, guys.